Oh, am I? Yeah, there we are. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Or as I like to say, welcome till tomorrow. Welcome to tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, that was a late start, even for me. But okay, it's all coming together now. Uh, Angela M., thank you so much for being here first. Who's working overnight right now and who's starting their day? For me, that is one and the same. There we go. Cool thumbnail, right? Thank you. I did it myself. Yeah, I did it myself. I like the way it just kind of. Anyway, um, hey, Puzzle Dot. Let's get into it. Oh, there we go. So, the weather. The weather. Who wants to talk about the weather? This guy right here. I did want to share him the other day. Well, maybe 2 days ago, because I was like, oh, don't want to scare anybody. But, well, what he had to say was not reassuring. It's to do with the weather, of course. So I'm going to play the sound for you. I mean, because let's see, it is Friday now. The weekend is upon us. Well, Thursday, Friday night. Thursday night, but it's Friday morning. So, anyway, let me play this for you and you can hear what he had to say. Uh-oh, that's not it. Nope, not it. Ready? Okay, here goes.
To talk about the storm that's coming this weekend because I didn't want to freak people out. And a lot of these forecasts never pan out, but this one is panning out, it looks like. Yeah, everyone's in agreement now that the crazy forecast is actually happening. This is going to be one of those storms you probably remember for much
Oh, sorry about that. Buffering.
your life. Basically, the whole, more than the eastern half of the United States is going to be below freezing, most of that below zero. They're calling for, foot and a half of snow all through here, all the way to the mid-Atlantic, and 3 inches of ice in this pink band right here. 3 inches of ice is unbelievably catastrophic. That is worse than what Texas experienced in 2021. There's going to be loss of life. Anywhere there's 3 inches of ice, there's no power. There's not going to be a power line that's not on the ground when there's 3 inches of ice. And emergency services aren't going to be able to reach you because there's 3 inches of ice on the road. That's what's going to happen if this forecast is correct. The grid's going to fail. Refineries are going to shut down. Water systems are going to shut down. Could knock out a couple of LNG terminals if it goes far enough south on the Gulf Coast. This is going to be a disaster if this forecast is even close to accurate. I mean, a major disaster. Huge natural disaster across pretty much all the southern states. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you live in the pink area, you should plan to be without power for at least a week, maybe a month. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you need to prepare for it because it wouldn't be the first time it happened, okay? This is that. People went without power for a month in Texas in 2021. This is a repeat of that. For you folks in the upper Midwest, where it's...
Okay, there you go. So let's see, what is this guy's name? Is it Doom and Gloom? Mr. Globe. No, Mr. Globate 2. Well, that's a weird name. MRGLOBALTOO. So that was his take on where we are today. Now, that was 2 days ago he said that. And yeah, it's very serious. It is very serious. I told my niece, I said, make sure you keep a blanket in the car. And in this weather, listen, anytime it's below freezing, you should warm your car up. Even if it's just above freezing, you should warm your car up. Let it run for at least 10 minutes. Now, of course, I live in the inner city. I have a club that goes across the steering wheel of my car, and I use a remote start to start it, and it cuts off in 10 minutes anyway. It's got a safety delay switch off on it. Um, Also, very common sense. You don't want to start your car in a closed space like a garage or something like that, like a home garage. You don't want to do that. But this is very, very serious. Also, if you haven't put a full tank of gas in your car, that's something you need to do because it helps to keep the moisture out. You don't want moisture and condensation in your fuel line. So the only moisture should be the gasoline. If you have an electric car, I do recall the last time we had a deep freeze like this, the charging stations were not functioning correctly. And some people, cars just, they were like, what do they call it? A brick when it just, you got nothing. So that's something to think about. Also, a lot of homes do not have very good insulation, especially on the outer walls. Um, you want to let some water trickle, especially the lower basin in the house. Like if you have a sink in the basement, you want to let some water trickle. You don't want to put it on full, but you want to let it trickle because that will help to keep your lines from freezing. Because when something freezes, it expands. And when it expands, it's going to break your pipes. I don't care if they're plastic or if they're metal pipes, they are prone to break. So that's something else to consider. But those waves that you see right there, like the dark blue, I believe that is the concentration of the ice storm, which the southern United States is very prone to. Um, but pretty much all through the Midwest, it's going to dip down below zero. And then, along with the below zero temperatures, you have the wind chill. And the wind chill is actually what it feels like, I suppose you could say. Like when they say the heat index, there's the actual temperature, and then when that air is moving, it's not just the temperature any longer. I guess it kind of pushes your body heat away from your body, replacing it with what? Cold air. So, of course, if you have something layered and if you have something like this windproof, but even with that, you can never take too much caution. This is the kind of weather where if you have to catch a bus, you should have on some long johns and you should have on some athletic pants, like some sweatpants, and then put another layer on top of that. In this weather, vanity goes out the window. There's no such thing as vanity when it's this cold. Very, very seriously cold weather. Let's see. Take a look there. That is what the snowfall. Yeah, they're expecting. Oh, yeah, and that is from NOAA. That's the people that track the weather. Good grief. How did we get here? How did we get here? Well, I know how my people got here. It's not a fun story, should I say. But Like Kamala Harris say, we ain't going back. We ain't going back. All right, let me take a look. So right now, it is 5 degrees Fahrenheit in Chicago. Is that Fahrenheit or so? Yeah, 5 degrees Fahrenheit. But tonight the temperature's going to sink to 9 below zero. Now you want to know what that is in Celsius? Minus 15 Celsius was the high temperature for today. Is the high temperature for Friday, and minus 23 will be the low temperature. So overnight, minus 23, and the next night, minus 22 Celsius, minus 17 Celsius, pretty much the entire week. If you are gauging your temperature in Celsius, it's all minus throughout the week. Okay. It's all minus Celsius, all under zero. So there you go. So it says extreme weather warning. Extreme cold warning in effect from Friday 3 a.m., which is in an hour. It'll be 3 a.m. Central Time, until Friday 12 p.m. And then, of course, they'll still have another alert in effect for the next night. So overnight is the lower temperatures, of course. Um, hmm. My goodness. Let me go back to Fahrenheit, what I understand. Mm-mm-mm. Well, the good news is that in Chicago, we're not expecting rain or snow. Oh, my goodness. So, again, if you live anywhere where there are freezing temperatures, you need to turn the faucet on. You don't have to run it full, but just run it just a little bit. A little trickle of water, a little stream of water might save you thousands of dollars in repairs. Um, Welcome to Chicago. This is what it looks like along the lakeshore, our beautiful lakeshore. This is what it looks like. As you can see, the waves as they were striking the lakeshore, that that's that little wave barrier, little concrete barrier. The water just freezes on it. Now the Chicago River, we had a tragedy a few years ago where someone dropped a phone in the river and they tried to retrieve it, and they fell through the ice. Then the next person who tried to help them fell through the ice. The thing is, the water in the river is warmer because it's the runoff from the sewers. It's the runoff from the sewers. So usually the river water is going to be warmer, but you just don't want to take your chances of going out on the ice. Hey, Sandra. Yes, stay safe, everyone. Stay safe. Now, we had a polar vortex back in 2019, a polar vortex. That was like a freezing hurricane or tornado. Well, anyway, it like it implies a vortex. Of course, the winds were not as strong, right? It wasn't as it was big as a hurricane, and but the winds were not so strong. But it was a vortex of cold air that swept across the United States. And I was working outdoors back in those days. And of course, me, who I never like to be defeated, I put on my snowsuit, which is rated 50 below zero or whatever it is. So I was quite toasty, you know, for the most part. But look at my beanie and look at the scarf I have wrapped around my face, you can literally see that all of the condensation from my nose and from my mouth, it froze right on my face. It's frozen. That is the condensation from inside of me blowing out and just freezing on my hat and on my facial cover, which is just a scarf. And I think I probably had another layer under that. Of course, I have on a hood. So yeah, I was pretty comfortable, but exposed skin in this weather, and also mittens. Mittens are the best thing to wear on your hands. Gloves are great, but the mittens are better because at some point you're going to start to feel that cold creeping into your fingers. So socks, you want to layer the socks. If you got some shoes and you can put on 2 or 3 pairs of socks, do it. Do it, do it, do it. So yeah, it's somewhat apocalyptic, you know, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Um, it's kind of that type of camaraderie that you feel during any type of disaster. I only just found out because I have no recollection of it, but I only just found out that during the blizzard of '67 in Chicago, which believe they say was the worst blizzard we ever had. So the snow in some places, the snow drifts were like 4 and 5 feet high, Um, and the streets were impassable. Even on a city bus, you couldn't go anywhere. And I don't recall this, but my brother said my mother didn't come home that night. She was stuck on the city bus. She was stuck all night on the city bus, along with a lot of people that were stuck um, on the buses. So the uh, blizzards are one thing because, you know, it doesn't mean that it's so cold, although it can still be dangerous because you can't really go anywhere. But these polar temperatures, these very low temperatures, even if it was dry outside, which for the most part it is, it's not a lot of snow right now. Um, it's just dangerous to be out there. And God Almighty, there's a lot of homeless people that um, have these little encampments. God only knows what they are doing right now. I do pray that they are safe because this is awful. A lot of them have those sleeping bags that are rated for extreme low temperatures. But even with that, you know what I'm saying? This is pretty bad. We have 24-hour bus and rail service, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to take to the public transport overnight, which is not ideal for people who need to go to the airport because believe me, I've taken that train before and it's not polite company in by any stretch, but I'd rather have the inconvenience and know that people are not freezing to death than to have them out and about like that. So yeah, this is going to last for about a week. Some people have some fun with it though. You could actually take some like denim pants and that are I don't know if it only works with denim or not, but you can I guess you pour water on them or they're damp or whatever, but you can literally stand your trousers up out there in the snow. Some people do have fun with it. One of the fun things that people do is to take a cup of boiling water and you just throw it in the air and it vaporizes. Now, I don't recommend that because you certainly don't want it to, cause you a burn or something like that. But you'll see people doing all kind of weird stuff during this weather. Uh, yeah, I think that was pretty much it about the weather. So again, you guys, take caution. Be very cautious out there because it is very, very serious. Um, and we don't want any tragedies, do we? Mm, 5 degrees Celsius. Good Lord. I want to take a look at see what the weather is doing in some other places. Well, it's 71 degrees in Honolulu. San Francisco, 51 degrees Fahrenheit. Not unusual. Oh, New York, New York. What are your temperatures right now? Oh, New York is 36 degrees. Oh, they're not going to get this ferocious weather. They're going to go down to the lower digits, but right now, 38 degrees Fahrenheit. That's above freezing. Oh, London is raining. That's a surprise. Mm, okay. Well, that satisfies my curiosity. 34 degrees in Venice. About the same temperature as Washington, D.C. Ooh, wee. Iowa is 0. Iowa is 0 degrees. They're going to go down to 15. My God. Oh, okay. So there you have it, you guys. Good luck, everyone. God bless. Stay safe. So, Prince Harry comforts Elizabeth Hurley's son at emotional privacy trial. Um, Today was Liz Hurley's day in court. Harry didn't do anything but give emotional support to the other complainants. Is that right? Yeah, complainants. Yeah. Anyway, why does that sound weird? But yeah, so no role for him in court today, but to observe. That's what he did today, was observe and give moral support. Check this out. The Sussex Soldier says Prince William and what's her name, Kate Middleton, planned their trip to Scotland on the same day as Harry's court date in an attempt to draw attention away from his case against their friends at the Daily Mail. However, they failed miserably. May William and Kate continue to fail. And the Sussex Soldier included some images of the Left Behind Royals with the um, Daily Mail owner, Lord Nappyhead, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Mail. This is a younger image of him. But yes, the Tom Jones of publishing, Lord Nappyhead, what is his name? Lord Ruthermere, furthermore, something like that. Anyway, that is the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Fail. The Daily Fail. Lies and more lies. That is their motto. Lies and more lies. Lie and lie again. The early liar gets the profits. I think that was that their motto or something like that. If you can teach a if you could teach a journalist to lie, you can get profits for one day. If you order them to lie, you can meet your bottom line for years to come. Something like that. It was some kind of model. Maybe that's Latin. Yeah, I think that's Latin. Oh well, that's the Daily Fail for you. Lies and more lies. He who lies most lies like a dog. Kate Middleton rewears her favorite print coordinating with Prince William for Scotland visit. Now, see, that's the kind of information that is custom made to take attention away from the fact that Prince Harry pretty much owned the courtroom yesterday. I am still celebrating Prince Harry's strength and dignity that he had on full display, which is why I said yesterday, nobody's fool. The Sussex Soldier says, miserably in everything they attempt in their lives. So that's a continuation from here. May William and Kate continue to fail miserably from everything they attempt in their lives. Prince Harry's case against the Daily Mail is getting worldwide attention. I can't say the same about William and Kate's trip to Scotland. Hashtag failed. I'm 100% sure that the Daily Mail isn't happy with the worldwide attention. Of course, they're not. They like to do things in the dark and reap the profit. He only shows fake interest in the royal duties when Prince Harry is in the UK. How do you get the work shy, lazy Prince William off his lazy arse for a few days? By telling him that Prince Harry is coming to the UK. I love the power Harry has over that clown. I agree with every word of that. Oh, by the way, this marks the couple's second joint appearance so far in 2026. Now, remember, in 2024, they had already announced that Kate had had abdominal surgery, which we still don't know what the surgery was. We don't know what kind of cancer she had. We don't know that she really had cancer, but precancerous cells were discovered. And let's see what else. Oh, and then by 2025, Kate pretty much just did not work. She was still refusing to carry her fair share of the royal workload. And of course, now that it's 2026, you see her running around and, well, and she's got to earn that royal lodge that they gave her. If they are not living in the same place, I believe that is going to be the home of the Kate Middleton family. Eventually, her mom and dad will probably live there. You know how that is. So, what do we have here with that small print? Oh, Sussex Soldier says, oh, that's the same thing from the other one I just shared with you. But I want you to look at the People magazine. I took a screenshot from their royal coverage. And as you can see, Prince William steps out for royal duty as Prince Harry returns to court 120 miles away from London. And then, of course, Prince Harry supports Elizabeth Hurley in court. That happened. And then Kate Middleton and Prince Williams. Oh, yeah, they face hecklers. That happened. We remember that one. And then Kate is working a loom or something like that. What else do we have here? Anyway, so my point is, even though Will and Kate were supposed to draw attention away from Harry, if you look at those images right there, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of 8, 6 of those feature Harry in some form or fashion. And only 2 of those, only 2 of those that do not have Harry, one of them actually has Andrew, and that was because of the heckler. So out of those 4 pieces that were covered, I mean, sorry, 8 pieces that were covered, in the top of the royal coverage, only one of them does Will and Kate own whole and completely. Otherwise, we know that Harry pretty much dominated everything, which is the way it ought to be. It's just for the worst possible reasons, though. I mean, the fact that he has to go to court and fight this battle again. So Charles steps out in Scotland as Prince Harry returns to the UK with no reunion plan. The monarch sips award-winning whiskey during an outing at the Palace of Holyrood. Um, they scattered like cockroaches. They did. As soon as Harry touched down, they took off. All of them. They quickly found something to do. It's just like, I just remembered. I got a thing. What thing? It's not important. I got a thing. Yeah, they got a thing. They had to hurry up and get out of town. Which I don't know. I think it's kind of silly. I mean, if you don't want to see someone, you don't want to see them. But to rush out of town like that seems silly to me. Hey, Connie Balmer, Gwendolyn Daniels. Oh, is Bunny Rose here? Very cool. And this is a composite from Harry in that witness chair yesterday, where he was able to do an amazing job. As they said yesterday, since Harry is kind of tall, he has to kind of, make an awkward lean downward to see the monitor in front of him and everything. It must have been quite a spectacle. And you do know when those court dates are available that anybody in the public has a chance to go in and observe. So, and I'm sure there were quite a few squatties that were there for him outside and inside. Well, why are they so invested in talking about a reunion with someone who they are currently abusing on a global scale? Their media is trying to force a reunion with these vultures. It is abusive. It is abusive. And oh my goodness. I was listening to some of the conversations that they were that surrounded the Beckhams, right? And I was kind of curious because I wanted to know if this media abuse, which seems to be sanctioned by not even the majority of the public, but a good slice of the public, they're okay with this. It's like, what is it, baptism by fire? And you know what I'm saying? It's just they don't care if you burn. And I cannot believe how so many people are deceived by the media and then they become these co-signers. They do the work for them. They internalize. They memorize the talking points. Like there was a guy on the one of those shows. He called in, and the host was like, "Well, don't you feel kind of sorry for Harry?" "No, I don't feel sorry for him." And his rationale for that was that, um, let's see, I'm trying to remember what was his rationale. It was something to do with, well, of course, they said that Harry was whining and complaining or whatever, and so the guy, the host, he said, "Well, what about him being spied upon?" And of course, that wasn't a consideration. The only thing that this person could really use as a weapon was that Harry wanted his privacy. It's the old privacy thing. And of course, they're saying the same thing about the Beckham kid. Not everyone, but I've heard a few people mention the fact that he's whinging about his privacy. And the poor kid is just pointing out that I have been a commodity for my parents from day one, and they're still trying to control me. There are a lot of similarities there. I mean, I hesitate to say that because the comparison makes me uncomfortable, but there are similarities there where a child is born into a famous family, and then everything about them is collateral, is a commodity, is whatever they want it to be. It's whatever they want it to be, but it's usually never what the individual wants for themselves. And that's the real shame of it, is that you're not a child, you're a commodity. You're not just a boy, you're a commodity. You're not a grown man, you are a means of control. You're a commodity. Your name sells, your image sells, everything has a price on it. And then, of course, the person who's making the money for the tabloids, among other people, the person who's generating all of that money, if you say anything about keeping certain things private, then they say that they declare that you want your privacy, but you want to make a cookbook. You want your privacy, but you want to be the spokesperson for this charity or whatever the case is. And so privacy becomes such a loaded word. And there were people calling in to those shows like Jeremy Vine saying the whole thing with the privacy. And that has been deliberately hijacked by the tabloid media to create confusion. It does nothing but cause confusion, the whole issue of privacy, which, of course, Harry or Meghan have never said anything about wanting their privacy in the context that we're hearing it from the media. It's the intrusion into their day to day lives, which is sanctioned by the palace. And it's the same with the Beckham kid. A lot of intrusion in his life has been sanctioned by his parents. His parents have working relationships with the British tabloid media. They may as well be a member of the royal family. They may as well be members of the royal family because they court a lot of the same people, right? They have relationships with a lot of the same people, including the royals. And so if one child pushes back or declares they don't want to do things the way of the Palace machine or the Beckham machine, then you're crucified. You are publicly crucified. They turn you into a villain. Yes, yes. Isn't that the real irony here? Is that police uh, uh, protection for Andrew, it never stopped. Andrew has never gone without his royal protection. Yet it was up to debate for Harry. Andrew was never evicted. They just put him in another house. And from what I can tell, they're doing Andrew a favor. This way he doesn't have to worry about the horrendous upkeep. The only reason they kicked him out of that house was because of the public opinion. Public opinion, which has been orchestrated by guess who? The palace. That's their doing. They just wanted him out of that house. It'd be interesting to see what they're going to do with it. Who gets that house next? Although, you know what? I could imagine, okay, maybe Windsor Castle is just a little bit too open and public for William. And maybe he'd rather go to Royal Lodge and Kate stay in the Forest Lodge. And that way he can be close to his children. And at the same time, he doesn't have to be so exposed. Not to say that he's doing anything to worry about, but he won't be as exposed at Windsor Castle, which I'm sure has a share of traffic, which I'm sure certain people just can't come up and visit without people realizing who they're probably there to see. So that's all. Okay. Now, this was so amazing yesterday. I do want to share it again. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and play it, but I do want to share it again.
One letter.
Yep, not that one. Here goes.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot has been made of the fact that yesterday, Anthony White-Casey for Associated Newspapers was supposed to do opening statements for 2 days, and he only did 2 hours, which pushed Prince Harry into the box a day early. And this is a technique that can be used to try and rattle a witness. And then today, interesting that they only cross-examined Harry for 2 hours. Now, in my experience, if you have a witness on the ropes, you keep going. He was due to be cross-examined for a day, and they took him out. They pulled him early because I think Harry was doing well, actually. Now, I think what a lot of people think about Harry is that he's a playboy and he's not very bright, but actually he's intelligent, he's articulate, he's genuine, he comes across genuinely, and also he knows these issues inside out. He's lived this case, and that makes, in my experience, for a very compelling witness. And I think that although there were no hammer blows landed by either side today, I think Harry held up well enough that they thought, this is damaging to us. And he said a few things. For example, he said, I feel like they were trying to drive me to drink and drugs to make more press out of me. He talked about the misery inflicted on Meghan and started choking up. This is the kind of emotional stuff that cuts through to the public. And I think maybe there was a tactical decision by Associated's lawyers that this isn't going well, we should pull him out early so he doesn't do any more damage. Yeah.
there you have it. There you have it. If things were going so well for them, they would have left Harry in place. But because they were failing miserably, we got to get this kid out of here. Oh my goodness. But Harry was super sassy yesterday, and I can't tell you how good I felt about that. That he just gave no F's. He just said what he was thinking. So good for him. Okay. So I decided to go back here again. Do you recognize this? Do you all recognize this? This is that that day where one of the tabloids, not one of the tabloids, but the tabloids, the Daily Express, the Daily Mail, the Daily Telegraph, the Sun, they decided to run a bunch of articles about Harry and Meghan, mostly Meghan, of course. That is one day's Daily Telegraph. In one day at the Daily Telegraph, they had 19 articles. In one day. Let's see. Markle's legal team, it says here, says she endured hundreds of thousands of inaccurate articles about her, and they weren't exaggerating. There were 246,525 articles written about Meghan between May of 2019 and April of 2020, according to the digital PR agency, whatever, that between May of 2019 and April of 2020, 246,525 articles about Meghan. About one person. One person. Uh-huh. Okay. You know what? I got to figure out what the date was for the when did these articles come out? I think that was 2021. Or was it 2020? Oh no, maybe it was 2019. I believe that she was pregnant at the time. Let me see what's next for Harry and Meghan after the Oprah. Okay. Nope. So it had to have been 2021 at least. Investigate Duchess bullying claim. Yeah, it was 2021. Because 2020 they left. 2021, that was when I think, oh gosh, that's the one thing I missed about this. I do not have the dates these articles came out. I think it was 2022. Hold on. I can do a quick check. Won't take but a second. Just want to make sure I have that accurate. Okay, the Telegraph. I just need to see when I save these, and then that'll let me know the time frame. Okay, nope, that's not it. Because at Royal Sussex, we strive for accuracy. Okay, yes, I've had this since 2022. 2022, that's how long I've had this. Okay. Okay, yeah, August of 2022 is how long I've had this. So that's the Telegraph, right? 19 articles in a 24-hour period. Oh, what do you know? The Daily Mail, 31 articles in a 24-hour period. Now, remember, these all happened on the same day. 31 articles within a 24-hour period. Oh, you know what? I just realized there's another way I can give you the actual date that this happened. Let me do this. Okay. I got it. Okay, I don't got it. I got it. I don't got it. Let me see here. Okay, let me try one more thing here. I just want to make sure I get the date, but we do know it was after the Oprah interview because a lot of this says Oprah interview, so I'm pretty sure that this is post Oprah. So 2021. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, March 8th, 2021, I believe is when this was the day that these came out. It may have been March the 8th. Okay. So let's just go with March of 2021. There was one day, 31 articles from the Daily Mail. The Sun, 28 articles. Remember, all of this was a 24-hour observation. And then the Grand Poobah, the big kid on the block, the one who can churn out crap on a daily basis, 50 articles. That's got to be a record. 50 articles. Look down there at the bottom. There's Carol Malone. Not to be left out, Carol Malone. 50 articles in one day. 50. Did you guys get that? 50 articles about Meghan in one day. Okay. Andrew Neil delivers scathing Harry and Meghan prediction, heading for irrelevance. Let's see how some of these articles have aged. Okay. Remember, this is 2022. Britain's back queen as Meghan Markle and Prince Harry row erupts. Royal family poll. Buckingham Palace to investigate after Meghan Markle bullying claims. Dan Walker weighs in on Harry and Meghan's Oprah chat. Uh-huh. Oh my God, look at that. I mean, most of these articles, okay, interview will paint Britain as land of vile snobs. How do you think that's aged? Piers Morgan fumes at Meghan Markle for diluted Oprah interview, self-serving bilge. Well, we know he didn't keep his job much longer after that. So yeah, I do believe all of this is post Oprah interview. So it has to be March of 2021. I don't think I saved it until the next year. I think the report came out much later from the, after this was put together by someone in whatever media group. Meghan Markle linked to Wallace Simpson, who felt very strongly Britain did not like her. What Meghan and Harry are doing is despicable. Oprah interview betrays Queen Carol Malone. Oh, she would. She would. She who was called racist and then proved it by accusing Meghan's mother of being an ex-convict. Do you remember that? Someone called her racist, and how did she thank them? She proved it by referring to Doria as an ex-convict. Okay. Little sweet Doria. Little sweet, kind, gentle Doria, according to Carol Malone, is a hardened criminal, the head of some criminal enterprise, someone who's done hard time at what's the prison, Leavenworth or whatever. Yeah, Ma Doria, they call her. Doria and her criminal gang. Make that make sense. So yeah, there you go. And one day, all of those articles came pouring out of the tabloids. Oh, there it is right there. You know what? I found what I was looking for. There it is. How could I have missed that? You see there? Yes, 50 articles attacking Meghan Markle were published on the Express website yesterday. That's 50 articles in 24 hours. I think it was it Edward Hayward that did that? If you're following along, that's 128 almost unanimously negative, many very hurtful and offensive articles about Meghan. That's what I was looking for. Site. Okay, let's move on. So, trust in the media 2025. Which news sources Americans use and trust? Which news sources Americans use and trust? Can you guys see that? Can you all see that okay? Me either. How about this? Does that help? I didn't think so. How about that? Is that better? All right. So, according to this little table here, this chart says most people trust the Weather Channel, which has a plus of 49%, followed by, guess who? The BBC. I know a lot of you guys no longer trust the BBC, but in the United States, more Americans trust the BBC than even trust PBS. And I'm going to tell you why a lot of people don't trust PBS. It's because they're constantly being attacked by the right wing. Otherwise, PBS would probably be number one, but PBS is under constant assault by Republicans, by the right wing conservatives, because they do not carry water for Donald Trump. Okay, Forbes, which I find that weird, but a lot of people trust Forbes magazine. ESPN, well, they're mostly sports, so who wouldn't trust them? Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch. See, this is why Rupert Murdoch wanted to Wall Street Journal, because Americans remember when it was just a family-owned newspaper that was never personal. It was never about, the so much the right wing. It was conservative just because it was about money, right? But now that it's owned by Rupert Murdoch, it still has a high rating because, number one, most people don't even read it. And number two, it's a well-known commodity. That is why they buy up names like Forbes. I'm not Forbes, but Wall Street Journal and Newsweek. Okay, just like Reuters, the Associated Press, very middle ground. They don't really have a lot of opinions. They just report the news. NPR, National Public Radio, they get high marks because just like PBS, they tend to be very liberal. NBC, CBS, C-SPAN, Time Magazine, USA Today, the New York Times. I can't believe the New York Times is down so low because a lot of people like myself usually trust the New York Times. ABC, Bloomberg, Financial Times, Business Insider, The Economist, The Guardian, God help us, Newsweek, Rupert Murdoch, Yahoo News. All they do is parrot what the other people say. CNN, which used to be very trusted, is no longer trusted. By the way, again, these are for the U.S. And full disclosure, this is a survey that was done by YouGov. Okay, so take it or leave it. Washington Post, which of course is owned by what's his name? Amazon, the guy that owns Amazon. Let's see, the New Yorker, The Hill, which of course is a rag. MSNBC, garbage. CNBC, garbage. Los Angeles Times, yuck. Politico, ProRepublica. New York Post, Murdoch. Fox Business Channel, Murdoch. Axios, I think they're kind of independent. I don't know. National Review, Daily Beast, isn't that Murdoch? The Cost, the Daily Caller, the Federalist, Huffington Post, OAN. Look at those ones with the negatives, you guys. Look at that. Those people are so awful. They're in the negative. Have you guys noticed what's missing? Let me go on. The Washington Examiner, garbage. Al Jazeera. I love Al Jazeera, actually. Comedy Central. Love Comedy Central. People Magazine. Now, see, People Magazine don't deserve to be down there. Breitbart. Oh, my God, this is horrible. InfoWars. That should be the last one. And the National Enquirer. Have you guys noticed who's missing from here? Have you guys noticed who's missing? Have you noticed? Who's missing are all those papers. Where is it at? I mean, they all have American news bureaus, right? These guys are missing. I don't recall seeing Daily Express, The Sun, the Daily Mail. The Telegraph, I think, is there. Is the Telegraph there? No, I don't see the Telegraph either. So these guys are not even there. They're not even counted. It's like the Americans don't even know they exist. And these numbers are for 2025. Where are they? Huh? Where are they, pray tell? Because I don't remember seeing them. Oh, thank you, Jeff Bezos. I couldn't remember his name. So where are they? Where is the Daily Mail, the Telegraph, the Express News, and the Sun? They're not here. They're not even counted for. Not even in the minus category. They're not even here. How popular is the Daily Mail in the United States compared to other newspapers? Huh. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I just found a list for when is this? Oh, for January 13th, 2026. Oh my goodness. And this is for let me see. Top 50 news websites in the US in December. Men's Journal and US Sun leads growth. Oh, so the Sun has grown in the US, but they're certainly not at the top. Oh, this is better. New York Times, CNN, Fox News, People, MSN, Financial, Yahoo, USA Today, BBC.com, New York Post, Murdoch. That's awful. A lot of people read it though. Google News, Substack is growing in popularity. 80 million visits in December. Wow, New York Times is at the top though. Okay, the Daily Mail UK, 67.9 million visits in December. It's like the 17th most popular news brand in the US, and that's for websites, of course. Anyway, I tell you what, I'm going to put this link on the chat so you guys, since I don't have it prepared here, I'm going to put it there. If you guys decide you want to check it out, that is the link. You can look at that at your leisure. I will pin that to the top of the chat. And there you have it. Okay. That is what I just shared with you. Top 50 news websites in the US in December. Men's Journal, the Men's Journal, and US Sun, those are the two that had like the most growth, but they're not nearly at the top. They just shown a lot of growth recently. New York Times website is number one, 445.2 million visits for the month of December. What is that? Almost 500 million visits, maybe? Not bad, New York Times. Not bad. Wow, the Daily Sun, the Sun, it's not that high up on there. Drudge Report, God, are they still around? So, what are the most common ways Americans consume news? The most common ways Americans consume news. Social media, adult citizens in the US, 61% get their news from Royal Sussex and other content creators. Did you hear that? Among adults, 61%. Now, if you break it down to age groups, 18 to 44-year-olds, 73% consume news from social media. In other words, me. 45 and older, 51%. Amongst Democrats, 63%. 63%. Independents, 57. Republicans, also 63%. Split right down the middle between Democrats and Republicans. Television, most adults, 60%. Television is only underwater when it comes to 18 to 44-year-olds, but otherwise, still a very slim majority get their news from television, except for independents are 50-50. And the rest, of course, friends, family, and acquaintances, 45%. Oh my God, that is scary. This is why people are so confused. 45% of people get their news from friends, families, and acquaintances. I want you guys to close your eyes and think of some of the people. Think of some of the people that have given you the news of the day and tell me we ain't in trouble. Huh? Tell me we ain't in trouble. Oh, well. Well, that's an interesting breakdown. Let's see what else we have here. How many Americans get their news from social media or news aggregators? Didn't we just cover social media? Oh, I think, okay, I see what they mean. They break it down. Facebook, YouTube, various Twitter accounts, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Reddit, LinkedIn, Threads, Snapchat, Nextdoor, Truth Social, Blue Sky, and Substack. Substack is growing in popularity, though. So, yeah, there you go. That's the breakdown. I'll leave that up there for a minute. Which of these have you personally used as a source for news in the last month? Select all that apply. The percentages, select each. Well, there you go. Okay. And remember, you could always take a screenshot of these if you just want to take a look. The link that I gave you, that's a different poll. So just so you know, that's a different poll. The link that I gave you, it's not for the material that I'm sharing here. All right. Let's do it by political party, shall we? How Democrats and Republicans feel when they consume news. Now, this is very important, guys, because this has to do with your mental health and well-being. Does consuming the news generally make you feel more or less? How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Do you feel informed? Well, 53% of adults in the U.S. says they feel informed. Democrats, 61%, Republicans, 51%. Does it make you feel angry? Overall, 43% of adults feel angry. after watching the news. That's not a good thing. If you walk away from the news angry, and I do mean more often than not, that's bad. Anxious, also bad. Cynical, well, that's why the world is in such a mess. Overwhelmed, naturally. Depressed, unfortunately. How about confused? Motivated? Only 19% of American adults feel motivated after watching the news. Entertained and hopeful. So only 16% feel hopeful after watching the news. Good God, that's awful. That is awful. Now, May of 2023. May of 2023. Interesting, right? How much do Britons trust news from top outlets? BBC once again takes the crown. Financial Times, ITV, Channel 4, The Guardian, The Times, etc. And where is the Daily Mail? The Daily Mail is all the way down. Do you see that longest bar sticking out? Like almost in the middle right there? That's the Daily Mail. Yeah, that's the Daily Mail. All of the tabloids, they score pretty low. The Sun is actually 1, 2, 3, fourth from the bottom. The least popular trusted news is a Star, BuzzFeed, Insider, Sun, Vice News. I love Vice News. Huh. Oh, well, there you have it. So, this guy right here, his name is Alex O'Connor. He is quite the intellectual. I have listened to him in those debates from time to time. And let me tell you, he's not exactly a ray of sunshine, but here goes.
Celebrated and family who, without their celebrated and tax-funded pomp and pageantry, are nothing more than thinly disguised celebrity, claim a prerogative to rule over you and me by right of blood, officially legitimized by the authority of a god who even the first in line to the throne struggles to properly believe in, and yet has apparently ordained from time immemorial that this particular specific man is to rule this particular.
Uh-oh. Sorry. Let's start over.
This family, who without their celebrated and tax-funded pomp and pageantry, are nothing more than thinly disguised celebrity, claim a prerogative to rule over you and me by right of blood, officially legitimized by the authority of a god who even the first in line to the throne struggles to properly believe in, and yet has apparently ordained from time immemorial that this particular specific man is to rule this particular specific set of islands, including the top, 16.75% of the biggest island to our side. A god whose true nature was, of course, only finally fully understood by King Henry VIII when he got dissatisfied with his wife. Highness, remember, is a relative term, as I like to remind people. Higher than what? Just who do these fellow Homo sapiens deem themselves to be higher than? And, crucially, on what grounds? You will never, never, in one of these debates, see a royalist defend this institution on its official, ostensible grounds. It never happens. It will always be some practical concern. Itself dubious, by the way. What about avoiding a king Starmer or sitting above politics? Or if they really haven't thought about it at all, maybe even tourism. Why? When Charles became the king, his proclamation quite explicitly told us that God had ordained this office to rule over us as liege lord and divinely chosen ruler of the Church of England. Why does nobody ever justify the monarchy with its official justification? Because nobody believes in it anymore. Of course they don't. Not even the king could have such a confused ego.
Okay, so that's the ray of sunshine. His name is Alex O'Connor. I got a feeling that he's not a royalist or a monarchist. Actually, I'm not sure what he is, but he's not very friendly toward the monarchy. And he first made a name for himself after Queen Elizabeth died because, well, he pretty much shared the same sentiment when Queen Elizabeth died. So, well, Kate ran back to get flowers and take a selfie with a woman who was calling her name, but ignored the girl in the wheelchair who was waiting for her in the cold with flowers. Can you believe that? That poor woman is waiting there with flowers for Kate. It kind of be hard to miss her since she's not stuck behind one of those gates. And Kate totally just blew her off. Went over there to the bright and shiny object and totally ignored that poor woman. So, pretty sad. I'm going to have to make sure I share this as much as possible because we don't want people to miss it, you know. Maybe they can get word to Kate. Maybe they can get word to Kate. So don't worry. I'm going to make sure I share it. So maybe Kate can invite her for tea or something. Palace insiders reveal Prince William's plans for his reign. Rebecca English reveals exclusive details in the Palace Confidential newsletter. Royal editor Rebecca English reveals the plans he is making for his reign and how he will approach the role. Isn't this why Charles is upset with William as we speak? Because he keeps doing this. And Rebecca English is not doing him a favor by running articles like this. She is the royal editor for the Daily Mail. You know what? As a matter of fact, keep it up. Keep it up. Keep doing it. Wanted for pretending to work, Workshy Willie. A group called Republic is searching for Workshy Willie. If you've seen him, approach with caution because he is known to be quite volatile and angry. They say he has a bit of a temper. So if you see him, make sure that you approach with caution. But yeah, they call him Workshy Willie. Workshy Willie. Yeah, they already have a king. Let's see. Find out now. Survey run for the national from September. 53% of Scots backed removing the monarch as Scotland's head of state and becoming a republic. You know, I've been keeping up with those numbers. I know the last referendum, the people who wanted to stay within the union, it barely made it across the 50% mark. So I do believe that since the Queen is deceased now, that if they have another referendum, Scotland can leave and connect with the European Union again. Because I think ultimately, a lot of people would like to rejoin the union. outside of London, most people in England, which has a higher population, obviously, wanted to remain or to leave the Union. But within London and Scotland, I mean, the further north you go, I think the more people wanted to stay in the European Union. And the further south of Hadrian's Wall, the more likely people were to want to leave, with the exception, of course, London, which was definitely about staying within the European Union. So, yeah, I think that Scotland is ripe for leaving the Union. And the next time there's a referendum, it will probably happen. It will probably happen. Of course, there's the whole thing about NATO. I don't know how that would fit into NATO, but either way, I'm pretty sure Scotland will be quite safe. It's just the geopolitical situation has changed so much. Yeah, I believe that's correct. I believe that's correct, Legs. Lazy Katie, is Kate heavily medicated? Well, according to Ministry of Hex,
Morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. How the heck you doing? Let's jump straight into this one because honestly, I was really confused when I saw this yesterday. And there are some social media commentators and some accounts that are suggesting that, in their opinion, Kate is heavily medicated when she's out working. And I've seen some evidence of that, but I thought, do you know what? For me, it's a bit of a stretch, a bit of a reach. But when I saw this yesterday, I'm like, guys, you might actually have a point. Kate has seen curling on the TV. She must have seen it on the television. She was at a live event where other people demonstrated what to do and how to do it. Yet she was unable to perform the simple task of moving a stone on ice and then letting go of it to see how far it went and to see if she could be accurate and score some points. She literally forgot to let go of the stone, of the curling stone. And I'm like, when you've had a demonstration from other people and you can see it happening all around you, how can you forget to let go of something unless you're heavily medicated? Do you know what I'm saying? I think she is. My opinion's not important. Yours is. Comments are open. Let me know what you think. Morning, friends.
Heavily medicated, self-medicated, doesn't matter. The truth is, we can't know for certain. We can only suspect that she is medicated in some degree or another. Bad case of the nerves, I suppose. But so I mean, she slid the stone and she forgot to let go. It's not like it pulled her all the way down across the ice, although I would have paid good money to see that. I would have paid good money to see her slide that stone and forget to let it go. You know what I'm saying? I would be willing to give up at least a week's salary just for the privilege. If there's anyone with footage out there, please let me know. Hands in pocket is a step too far. Etiquette expert critiques Meghan's casual pose on Wellington outing, but assure it can be easily corrected for future engagements. Oh, really? Isn't that interesting? And yet, in 2019, after Meghan's breach of protocol, there's Queen Elizabeth, how the Queen's secret wish finally came true. Dresses a dresser, that is, Angela Kelly, reveals Her Majesty dreams of posing for photographs in a most unregal manner with hands in pocket. Oh, okay. So, what did Meghan do wrong again? And we know Charles keeps one hand in his pocket at all times. I don't even like to think about that because God only knows what he's up to. But Charles keeps a hand in his pocket 90% of the time. He's been doing that since he was a teenager, which is why I say I don't really want to know why he does that. No, Kate isn't medicated. She gets very animated when she's trolling Princess Meghan. Sussex and Prince Harry is her mean spirit. You know, you got a point there. You got a point there because, especially if she's dressing in a way that Meghan would dress, anything similar to Meghan's, and she gets extra girly and excited. So I think you're right about that. Too many witnesses, I suspect, Heather. Yeah, she can do some work now since she's able to run. Now that we know she's able to run. Katie Hine hears tone deaf Brooklyn wants to reconcile with parents, David and Victoria, after shock staff exit, but wife Nicola Peltz is obsessed with driving the Beckham rift. It's pathetic and out of control. They say that this was the article that pushed uh, Brooklyn over the edge. They said it was something about this article because, of course, there's always the suspicion that David and Victoria Beckham are leaking and briefing against their son. Sounds familiar? Zandy Sussex says, looks like this is the hit piece that finally made Brooklyn say enough is enough. No surprise, it's in the Daily Mail. Clearly a briefed article with a malicious agenda and not heard to guess, I'm sorry, not hard, that is, to guess who was behind it. Mm-hmm. That should be an easy one. Team, what is it? Beckham. The Beckhams were likely responsible for that. Lex says Kate always gives the is this right by. Yeah. uh, excuse me, that kind of snuck up on me. Well, thank you for that observation, Lex. uh yeah, now that you have said that, I can see it. uh let me see. Where is it at? Where is it? Now you know I want to see it. Mm, oh my goodness. Where is that thing? Oh, there it is, right there.
all of us watching at home, congratulations to Team GB.
Well done on all you've achieved. You've been an inspiration to us all.
From all of us watching at home, congratulations to Team GB.
Well done on all you've achieved. You've been an inspiration to us all.
From all of us watching at home, congratulations to Team GB.
Well done on all you've achieved. You've been an inspiration to us all.
From all of us watching at home, congratulations to Team GB. Well done on all you've achieved. You've been an inspiration to us all.
I ain't got nothing better to do I? See, even there, you could see that vibe, right? Right there, you can see it.
Congratulations to Team GB.
Well done on all you've achieved. You've been an inspiration to us all.
From all of us watching at home, congratulations to Team GB.
Well, can somebody tell me what kind of medication she on? Because I I might want some of that. What kind of medication is she on? I might need some of that myself. Yeah, what she got? And then, of course, jazz hands. Remember the jazz hands? Uh-oh. Did I not do that right? Where is it at? All right. Oh, the jazz hands wouldn't open. That's weird. Let me try that again. Oh. Well, that is weird. It's not working. Oh, come on. I just want to drag Kate a little bit. And this thing is not cooperating. Okay, let me try now.
I've had the most inspiring morning with the Anna Freud Centre discussing all things mental health. It is so important that we all talk about our feelings and emotions, the good ones and the more difficult ones too, because we all have them. The theme for this year's Mental Health Week is anxiety, and the Anna Freud Centre have co-created an animation and resource toolkit to help young people understand, normalise and manage their feelings around anxiety. It is a fantastic resource and one which I'm sure we could all use to help support our mental health.
Can't she work them hands? That's why we call her jazz hands, because she had them hands going. Jazz hands. Poor Kate. I still want to know what kind of medication she on. If she's taking medication, of course. I mean, if she's taking it. If she's not taking it, she probably should. Let's see. Kate needs one of those old Catholic school nuns. uh right, right. Just to calm her down a little bit. Or one of those nuns that wrap you across the knuckles with the ruler. They can correct those hands. Oh, the green dress? Yeah, when she's not trying to dress like Meghan, she had her own little style, but she was so insecure. She had her own little style, and then she got so insecure. Another awkward moment between Victoria Beckham and Nicola Peltz goes viral as fans claim Brooklyn's mom is not the problem. Really? See how they're piling up on her? They are going to probably vilify Nicola Peltz. The guys always get an easier go at it, but when they start vilifying the women, they really, really, really nitpick. And sadly, the worst prosecutors, the worst abusers are other women. It's always the other women that are so brutal, which is so wicked, but it's the truth. The other women are always the most brutal when it comes to these public humiliations, when it comes to the blame game. It's always the women that are worse, which is a real shame. Like, what was her name? Madeleine Albright. She said, women that don't support other women, she said, it's a special place in hell for women who do not support other women. And unfortunately, a lot of the women in the media, they're just gatekeepers. Women with any type of authority or power or something like that. It's really bad when you have a mean girl like Kate who just cannot tolerate other women around. And that has been a real Kate thing, is very, very cruel to other women, which is why she does not have any female friends. She just does not have any. If she had like real girlfriends, we would know about it, because that is one of the ways that you can humanize a person. But she didn't even, when she was supposedly in the hospital, it don't even seem like her own family came to visit her. Let's see. Is Victoria an English rose? Is that it again? I think that Victoria expected subjugation of Nicola. Nicola has her own money and career. Nicola would have been considered an aristo. Okay. Well, that is something to think about, because when they have those, like, anytime that the Spice Girls get back together, isn't it always Posh who's just too busy, right? Isn't she the one that always kind of stood alone away from the rest of the group whenever possible? So I'm trying to think, does she really tolerate other women? I'm trying to see who is. Let me take a look. I want to know um, if there's an answer for that. Who is Victoria Beckham's best friend? Oh, Eva Longoria? Come on now. I'm pretty sure Eva Longoria wears a lot of her clothes, but I could not imagine that they're so close. I mean, Eva Longoria doesn't even live in the UK. That's who comes up, Eva Longoria. Let me ask AI. Oh, Eva Longoria is godmother to Victoria and David Beckham's youngest daughter, Harper. Mutual support. Longoria often wears, see, I knew that, often wears designs to major events and recently attended the world premiere of Victoria's docu-series in October of 2025. I should have known. Oh, they say here that Longoria has described the two as inseparable, peas in a pod. Interesting. Oh, is that right? Okay. Well, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. But not someone that she's grown up with. I mean, does she have any like childhood friends or anything? Well, you know what? Then again, that would be unfair because she's rich as beyond belief now. So it'd be kind of hard to hang on to some of those childhood friends. Okay, let me ask another question. Is Victoria Beckham a mean girl? Public perception of Victoria Beckham as a mean girl stems primarily from her posh spice persona and serious public demeanor, though recent personal drama has fueled new criticism. Interesting. Nicola is MAGA. The terms of the prenup require Brooklyn to take the Pelt's name. This is a replay of Nicola Anwar Hadid relationship. Really? I did not know that. Is that why he's using her last name? Well, I don't really know anything about the Beckhams, just a bunch of superficial stuff, but they're not that familiar to me. Okay, I'm going to ask one more question. What's wrong with Victoria Beckham's top lip? Public and expert discussion regarding Victoria Beckham's top lip often focused on its natural M shape and the visible effect of cosmetic treatment. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I see. Why is there so much space between Victoria Beckham's top lip and her nose? The space between The space between Victoria Beckham's nose and her upper lip, known as the, what is that, the philtrum, has become a topic of discussion due to several anatomical and cosmetic factors. You don't say. Let me see. Natural anatomy and genetics, aging process, cosmetic enhancement and filler migration, and makeup techniques. Take your pick. All right. I think that's sufficient. I was just kind of curious. All right. Well, thank you, AI. Uh, everything you ever wanted to know about Victoria Beckham, but was afraid to ask. It should be everything you ever wanted to know, but was too shady to ask. Oh, they didn't want their son to use the name they copyrighted. Let me see. Did y'all already talk about how a weaver in Scotland asked Kitty to pick 3 colors of threads and she couldn't? No, I didn't see that. I did not see that. I want to see it though. I would like to see that. Okay, you've just given me some homework. There's Daddy Warbucks right there. That is his father-in-law, Daddy Warbucks. That's the right-wing father-in-law, the billionaire. I don't know why. Is it just me? But why does Brooklyn always look so sad? It doesn't seem like he smiles that much. Hmm. Yeah, you know what? They're probably just jealous because Daddy Warbucks got more money. Yeah, it did kind of come from out of nowhere, didn't it? Brooklyn pelts Beckham. Interesting. I thought he did that because he wanted to, but that's part of the prenup. I mean, if Pops is going to give me a little money, I'll take that name. I'll take that name. How much money does it come with? Even though everybody is worried about AI, it's moments like this when I think AI is just the best thing ever. That is too much fun. And also on top of her, uh, what do you call it? Train. I mean, literally dancing on her train. Oh, oh, I only got two things left, you guys. I'm gonna do this one and the next one. This guy. Well, anyway, this is kind of interesting. So listen closely.
This trend. There's an increase in the number of people cutting off their parents, but there's one thing I've noticed about this trend. Has anybody else noticed that when an adult chooses not to have a relationship with their parent, it's always, but it's your mum and your dad. Why are you doing that? It's never, wow, what could a parent have done to cause their child to make this decision but feel like it was the right one? It's never what happened that made that grown adult feel like they need to walk away from the people who raised them. And it's definitely never, but they're your children. How can you treat them that way? Why is the weight placed on the child? Why is the burden of maintaining peace, preserving connection, and forgiving anything dumped onto the very person who's probably carrying the scars? No one ever stops to think that. Maybe that parent wasn't a safe person. Maybe that parent wasn't emotionally present. Maybe they were manipulative, abusive, dismissive, narcissistic, or constantly absent when it mattered the most. Maybe parent was just a title, not something they lived up to. And yet, the child is the one questioned. The child is the one who's guilted and shamed or gaslit. There's this automatic defense of the parent, as if the role of the parent comes with some lifetime immunity from accountability. But here's the truth. People don't cut off their parents typically for no reason. It's not impulsive. It's not heartless. It's usually the last result after years of trying, years of hoping things would change, years of therapy, tears and inner conflict. It's often deep, painful acts of self-preservation, and yet society keeps asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, why did you walk away? Maybe it's time to start asking, what happened that made staying impossible?
Okay, there you go. Just something to think about. Really? I did not know that. Six brothers? That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Okay. Well, I know he has that hot sauce. I don't know the story behind the hot sauce, but I almost bought it the other day because I have a friend that loves hot sauce. So I wanted to get that for her birthday, but it wouldn't have arrived in time. So I decided, nah, I won't get that. But I mean, he has name recognition. There's no reason why he should go broke. Also, I'm pretty sure he's had a fine education. Again, there's no reason why he should go broke. So there you have it. But yeah, I've learned more about the Beckhams than I ever wanted to know ever in the past week. And it's been interesting. I'll say that. I just wonder why Brooklyn always looks so sad. Or is that just his personality? So, what do you think about this guy? Yeah. Well, he is on TikTok, if you can see right there. Oh, you know what? It's not G. It's you know what? I made a typo. It's not G. It's at Wise. Is it Wise Elliott? Yeah, it's at Wise Elliott, and it came out G by mistake. Yeah, so that's not it. If you're looking for him on TikTok, is at Wise Elliott. Well, you can kind of see it there too. So sorry about that. I made a typo. There it is. At Wise Elliott. I bet he has some interesting stuff. And lastly, this is the last thing for today. Take a look at that cabinet. One of the squatties posted this. I didn't want to share the name because I didn't think I should, but Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, there's a signed copy of Spare open to the inside of the cover. There are some spoons, and there, of course, is a an official teacup from the wedding. Also, the Penguin Books audio, I guess that's a CD. I don't know what that coin is up there. And there's something else I cannot recognize clearly, but it's inside of a cabinet. Yeah, they keep this inside of an illuminated cabinet. So very interesting. I think I kind of like it. And that is it for today. Thank you all so much. And again, if you're anywhere in this deep freeze, please be aware of the weather because it is dangerous. It is very, very dangerous. Oh my goodness. Let me take a look at my current temperature. Well, for me, it is 1 degree Fahrenheit. Or 17 below Celsius? Is that right? Yes, so be careful, everyone. Make sure you follow all the precautions, full tank of gas, warm your car up for at least 10 minutes, warm up your car. And be careful if you're seated in your car when you warm it up because, you know, if your car's not putting out any heat and you're not layered enough, that can be dangerous. Okay? Oh, both parents have been trying to set them up in a career. Yeah, Victoria. You know, the thing is, there's a discipline with some entertainers where they don't like to smile because they want every photo to look the same. And well, I'm trying to think who else does that. Kanye West, he practices that no smile thing. Um oh gosh, what's her name? Pretty Woman. Julia Roberts. She has this kind of resting Julia Roberts face thing. There's quite a few people that do that where they don't want to look different in photos. And also, I think it's something to do with the way they market their image, where they just maintain that usual appearance. So if they know there's a camera around, they just freeze. Their resting face. I guess you can call it their resting face. Oh, thank you, Ella Parker. That image you see on the screen, that is me during the 2019 polar vortex. It was so cold that the condensation from my air, from the breath I was breathing, froze on my scarf and on my beanie. And that is why I look like the abominable content creator. Yeah, that was one of the coldest nights ever. And I was wearing a jumpsuit. I was working outdoors at the time, and I was wearing this big jumpsuit. It was wind tested for below zero temperatures. So I was quite toasty. I was very toasty. Matter of fact, I should go try that thing on. I guess it still fit. But yeah, I should try that on. That would be great for me to wear tomorrow. I tell you, it's just like it's like you put on a duvet and walk out the house. That's what it is. It's just like you put on a duvet. Or as they say in New York, an oive. I have to smile. My resting face would get me arrested. Well, I'm at that age now. If I'm not smiling, people be like, "How are you? You look tired." Oh, that's just my resting face. I'm not tired. I'm old. I'm not tired. I'm just trying to get a senior discount. Okay, cheers, everyone. Love you guys. I'm going to say good night. I'll see y'all next time.